2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Frank for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Cordray, welcome to one of the longest-running series in Washington, the hearings on oversight over your agency, in which my colleagues complain that there is no oversight. I look forward to the reruns going forward. One reason they complain about there not being oversight at an oversight hearing and about the structure is that they have nothing firm to complain about. The agency has been in existence now for a considerable period of time, and there are no problems. None of the horrors and abuses that we were threatened were going to happen have happened. So in the absence of that, let me talk about an important issue, which was our addition of the word abusive to the practices you were to protect people against. And unfair and deceptive had definitions. People have said, what do you mean by abusive? Well, we defined it. We defined it in the statute to say it is abusive if it materially interferes with the ability of a consumer to understand a term or a condition, or takes unreasonable advantage of a lack of understanding on the part of the consumer of the risks, costs, or conditions, the inability of the consumer to protect the interest. In other words, it may depend on the consumer, and if people think that's some far-fetched notion, remember that one of the problems we had with the subprime loans was they were, when you go to an 80-year-old and urge her to refinance when she's nearly paid off her mortgage. Now, refinancing for some people might be a good idea. When it's sold to an 80-year-old, it's probably not such a good idea. And this allows you to deal with ignorance. And there are people who said, well, why are you getting involved in ignorance? And I quoted before, and I misplaced the book, and I wish I had the book of a very distinguished economist who said, of course there needs to be a capacity in the government to protect people, not just against deception and not just against unfairness, but against people who would take advantage of their ignorance. Now, that's what abusive does. And we, in acting in that and in giving you the authority to protect people against abuse so defined, we are following the instruction of that particular economist whose name was Friedrich Hayek. And I urge my colleagues who quote Hayek more than they read it to look specifically at what he said, and there will be great support for dealing with efforts to exploit the interests of individuals. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We have